Hey guys, for art this week I found this really cool idea called salt art. And what it is, I made a sample for us, is I made a spider web, but there's lots of different things that you can make, and it looks like this. And it's salt on paper that's then painted. And when you paint salt, it kind of, when you touch it, it kind of spreads. So it causes this almost like tie-dye effect, and it's really, really cool. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this so that you can make it at home. So you don't have to do a spider web, you don't have to use black paper, you don't have to do any of the things that Miss Herman's doing. I'm just going to show you what I did, and then you can choose to do whatever design you want to do. So for doing this, I have a piece of black paper, but I got it from this, which is just a pack of construction paper. So you can pick pink, blue, green. It looks really pretty on white as well, whatever color you would like to do your project on. You are going to need some white school glue. So I got this one, and it needs to have this little spout. I have the big jug as well. That one doesn't work because you have to be able to squirt it out. So this one works the best. You also need some salt. And then you're going to need, I just have this, it's a baking sheet, and that's only just to put the paper on to sprinkle the salt on so you don't get salt everywhere. If you don't have one of these, you might just have to sweep up some salt. And then after it dries, you're going to need watercolor paints. So this is, it's pretty specific that you need these kinds of paints. I just found these at Walmart. They have them at Dollarama as well. They're not very expensive. They're just the paint that you need. So when you open it, it's dry, and you need water. You have to mix it with water to get it to work. And then I have a paintbrush, and I have some water for my paint. So I'm going to show you how I made this design. And remember, it doesn't have to be a spider web. You can do whatever you want. If you want to draw flowers, people, anything. It's really cool. Miss Herman did quite a few of these with her kids, and my kids had a blast. We did a ton of different ones. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. So on your paper, you're going to take your glue, and you're going to draw your design. If you want to, beforehand, you could always take a pencil and sketch what you want to draw first, so that when you're using your glue, you kind of just have to follow along where your pencil line is. So I'm going to show you how to make a spider's web. So you just start with a dot, and then you're just doing lines out. So, and if that happens, that's okay. If the glue is too thick, it'll take really long to dry, and if it's too thin, then not enough salt will stick to it. So you want them to be somewhere in between. And you're just going to do rays out like this from your dot. Just like that. And then to make the rest of the spider web, you're going to kind of make, I don't know what they would be, kind of like humps like this, up and down. So they're going to go, you're going to go from one line to the next line. So there's your first row, and then you move down and do the second thing. Here's your second one, and then you just keep on going. If you run out of room, just kind of add lines. Like there's not enough room on this one, so I'm just going to make a little connecting line here, and then I'll make another connecting line here, and another one here, and then I'm going to finish them off down here. Just like that. And then when I'm done, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it inside my cookie tray. And like I said, this is just so the salt doesn't go all over the place, because that would just be a disaster. And then I'm going to take my salt and I'm going to pour salt all over the glued area. This can be messy. You might want to get an adult to help you, but it's doable. And then when you're done, you need to shake off all the extra. So you're just going to pick it up, shake it And then it looks like that. You can't really see the salt right now, but it's kind of raised. If you see, it's raised on the paper. Now, the next thing you need to do is let it dry. Miss Herman did this yesterday to do our sample, and it took 24 hours for this to dry. If you put the paint on when the salt and glue is still wet, it doesn't work. So put this aside. Once you have your painting with the salt on it, put it aside and let it dry. Now, I have one here. Let me just get rid of this. I have one here that I did yesterday. So this is what it looks like when it's dry. And you're gonna have, it's still gonna be a little messy because salt's still gonna kind of fly off it, but that's okay. So it's completely dry now. It's not as raised as it was before. The glue's kind of settled down and has dried the salts to the paper. So now what you're gonna do, let me switch this again. You're gonna get your paint. So my paint, open this up. And you need your water. And in order for this to work, the paints have to be really, really wet. So I found that I had to take a bunch of water and keep dipping my paintbrush in the water in order for it to get kind of really wet. And then once it's really wet on your paintbrush, all you do, this is the cool part, you touch the salt and it spreads. Isn't that cool? So then you're just gonna keep on touching it, and the salt will absorb the paint and it'll spread. And then you can switch up your colors. Let's pick a different color. Let's pick an orangey red color. And then same thing, you're just going to touch the salt and it expands and the salt absorbs the paint. Isn't that cool? I loved it. So then you just keep on going and going. Keep it on with your painting until you have everything covered and it looks like this. I love these. I think they're super pretty. There's lots of different things that you can do with salt paints. It's really, really fun. You can take, I've seen people just take the glue on a piece of paper and just kind of squirt it in all different kinds of designs and then put salt on it and let that dry and then do the same thing with paint. And it makes this really cool kind of tie-dye effect between the watercolor and the salt. Awesome, eh? All right, I hope you guys get to try this at home. It was a lot of fun and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye guys.